Taiyo lost everything until a deadly family forced him to risk his life for love. Let's recap everything from Yozakura Family Season 1. The story opened when Taiyo's parents die in a car accident, leaving him depressed and afraid of losing others. At the funeral, Mutsumi holds his hand and promises to stay with him. In school, Taiyo avoids friends. Mutsumi brings lunch and makes him eat. Vice Principal Kyoichiro appears, praises her food, and summons Taiyo. In the office, Kyoichiro shows photos of Mutsumi and a video of him beating a boy who confessed to her, scares him, and reveals Mutsumi is his sister. A white-haired girl kidnaps Taiyo. He wakes with Mutsumi and her siblings, who reveal they are spies and explain Kyoichiro's obsession with protecting Mutsumi. Futaba suggests Taiyo marry Mutsumi so he becomes family. Mutsumi hesitates. Kyoichiro returns and defeats the siblings. Kengo and Mutsumi hide Taiyo. Kyoichiro attacks Mutsumi, but it is Kengo in disguise. The real Mutsumi appears and says Taiyo would never hurt her. Kyoichiro agrees to spare Taiyo only if Mutsumi cuts ties with the outside world. Mutsumi accepts to protect Taiyo. Taiyo steps out and tells Kyoichiro to stop. He asks Mutsumi to marry him to free her. She throws him the family ring. Taiyo fights through Kyoichiro's wires, puts on the ring, and they marry. Mutsumi hugs him, and the family accepts him. The next morning, Kyoichiro threatens Taiyo with a knife, saying he will train him as a spy. Mutsumi enters and sees Taiyo tied with wires. Kyoichiro jumps out the window with them as the house explodes. He explains Mutsumi is the normal family head, whose children inherit Yozakura power, so she must be protected. Soldiers attack their car. Kyoichiro fights them with wires and gives Taiyo a gun, warning Tamaya is after Mutsumi, and that he will kill Taiyo if she is harmed. At school, Taiyo watches Mutsumi but faints after talking with friends. He wakes beside her, feeling useless. She slaps him and says she chose him and always wanted to marry him. They spot a ceiling bomb, which explodes but spares Mutsumi. Taiyo finds another bomb on his coat and jumps out the window. Kyoichiro saves him and disarms it, declaring Taiyo passed his first mission. The family captures Tamaya and Kyoichiro kills him with his own bomb. Taiyo asks Futaba to train him to protect Mutsumi. She says it takes years, especially for someone without talent, but agrees if he survives 1 month in the mansion's deadly traps. Taiyo accepts. He wakes to a bomb alarm and runs through turrets and fire to breakfast, burned and exhausted. The food is poisoned to build resistance and the bathroom is locked, forcing him to pick it. He lives in constant danger and exhaustion. One night, Mutsumi tells Taiyo not to push himself and recalls being bullied for her silver hair, and that Taiyo was the only one who helped her. After 3 weeks, Taiyo moves through traps easily, but poisoned food and the locked bathroom still break him. Nanao treats his hidden wounds and warns he'll destroy himself if he doesn't rest. Days later, Taiyo finally opens the bathroom lock. His ring glows, the house accepts him, and Futaba begins real training as the traps grow harsher. One night, when Mutsumi cooks, Shinzo calls crying, because he ran out of bullets on a mission and is scared. Mutsumi sends Taiyo to help and stays on the phone with Shinzo. On the way, Taiyo feels a gun at his head, disarms the enemy, and beats goons using his training and a taser. He reaches Shinzo and gives him ammo. Shinzo is happy. More enemies appear, and Shinzo defeats them. A sniper shoots Taiyo in the leg. Shinzo drops his weapons to save him. Taiyo throws a fork. Shinzo uses it to kill the sniper. Shinzo carries Taiyo, and they bond on their first mission together. A few days later, Seiji stops Taiyo, shows a police badge, and interrogates him with videos of his work with the Yozakura family, demanding names. When Taiyo refuses, Seiji poisons and attacks him with a hammer. Taiyo spits out the poison, notices Kyoichiro's wire, realizes it's a loyalty test, and says he'd rather die than betray them. Kyoichiro appears and reveals Seiji is his classmate, hired to test Taiyo. The next day, Seiji sends Taiyo on a mission at an amusement park to catch an armed couple. Mutsumi joins him. They blend in as a couple, enjoy the rides, and Taiyo arrests the criminals with his taser. They end the day holding hands at sunset, and Taiyo gives her a rose. Days later, Shion is hacked and Taiyo's photos are stolen. Soon after, an assassin attacks Taiyo with needles, then confesses love. Mutsumi identifies her as Ayaka, a spy who kills the men she falls for. Taiyo says he can't die because he's married to Mutsumi. Ayaka retreats under Kyoichiro's orders not to hurt Mutsumi. The next day, Ayaka transfers into Taiyo's class and keeps trying to kill him. Taiyo dodges her attacks. When another assassin grazes Mutsumi, Taiyo breaks free and defeats him. Ayaka switches her obsession to Mutsumi and vows to stay with her. Later, Shion reveals her missions are run as games. While Taiyo stops a train in the game, a real hijacked train is stopped too. Ayaka hacks the system to steal data, but they stop her, finish the mission, and Shion hacks Ayaka back. A few days later, Nanao calls Taiyo after swallowing a biochemical weapon, asking to be picked up in 3 hours. Taiyo reaches the lab, finds injured guards, and assassins Sui and Oga appear. They fight together and reach Nanao. Oga says Nanao must be killed because he absorbed the weapon, but Taiyo refuses. Sui cuts him down, then Nanao wakes up and proves the weapon is fully detoxed. Sui accepts the mission is done, gives Taiyo healing ointment, and leaves. Later, Kyojiro mocks Taiyo. Mutsumi hits him. Taiyo admits his mistake and is sent to spy on Sui. He follows Sui for days. One night, Taiyo sees Sui polishing a rock grave of someone he loved. Respecting Taiyo's persistence, Sui agrees to duel. Taiyo blocks his attacks using muscle memory. Sui respects him, but the public mocks Taiyo for running half-naked in the news. A few days later, Mutsumi takes Taiyo to a park where Sui leads them to the trap-filled Hinajiku Cafe's secret base. They reach the lowest level, eat cake, and Taiyo realizes the errand was just a tea party. Kyoichiro breaks in, thinking Mutsumi is kidnapped, fights Rin, and collapses the building. After this, Rin then asks Taiyo to spy on politician Kuroyuri. Taiyo, disguised as a girl, infiltrates Kuroyuri's party to gather information. Kuroyuri fakes an attack and acts like a hero, but Taiyo sneaks into the ambulance with him. For days, he works as Kuroyuri's assistant, noticing nothing, until he realizes Kuroyuri and the triplets use tap dancing as a secret code. Taiyo deciphers it and learns they plan to plant bombs at a rival conference the next day. He disables the first bomb, but Kuroyuri reveals a second one, which he also prevents. Kuroyuri orders the triplets to kill Taiyo, but Sui arrives, breaks their weapons, arrests Kuroyuri, and instructs Taiyo to take him to the agency. On the way, Kuroyuri claims Taiyo's parents' deaths were no accident. Taiyo points a gun at him, but Kuroyuri only cryptically says the world is full of lies. Sui calls, revealing the deputy minister has been kidnapped and that Kuroyuri was a fake. When asked to interrogate him, Kuroyuri escapes by blowing up the van and dropping his earring. Sui later explains Kuroyuri is a legendary spy thought dead for 6 years. Kurogao livestreams the deputy's forced confession, threatening death. Taiyo shoots the camera to stop the stream, but his taser fails at range. He rushes Kurogao, who easily overpowers him. Kurogao recounts his revenge plan. After a mission, the government blew up his house on his daughter's birthday, killing her and erasing him. He faked his death, became a politician, and plotted revenge. Taiyo attacks again, but the triplets protect Kurogao. He offers to reveal Taiyo's family secrets if Taiyo backs off, but Taiyo refuses to allow more deaths. Sui separates Taiyo from the triplets, leaving him alone with Kurogao. Taiyo tries a sedative knife, but Kurogao anticipates it and stabs him first. The triplets fight Sui, but he defeats them and moves to help Taiyo. Sui senses a powerful presence. Taiyo then uses Sui's walking on flowers technique, surprising Kurogao and defeating him. Kurogao agrees to reveal Taiyo's family secrets, but dies before speaking. Taiyo finds a note pointing to the answers. Taiyo returns home and is praised by Mutsumi and the family. He opens a box of family secrets with Mutsumi's support, and finds an optic drive. Ayaka, now working as a maid, attacks him, steals the drive, and declares his rising bounty makes him an even better target. Shion later confirms the drive is damaged. After training with Futaba, Taiyo notices Mutsumi holding an album with Nanao's spy license photo. Futaba explains it's an official ID with many benefits, and Taiyo decides to take the exam. Kyoichiro warns him he will die if he fails. The next day, Taiyo aces the first phase, drawing attention from others. Tsukio protects him and flirts, making Mutsumi jealous while dragging Taiyo through the remaining tests. Taiyo escapes a water tank, but Tsukio is faster and keeps saving him throughout. In the final test, the building collapses. Taiyo is attacked, saved by Tsukio, then rescues him after he falls through a floor. Tsukio reveals he's a silver-rank spy and examiner. The trial measured humanity. Taiyo passes and earns his spy card. Later, Ban appears and escapes with Taiyo using a smoke bomb. At a bar, he advises Taiyo to cherish Mutsumi. Taiyo promises to love her daily. Ban lowers his guard. Keiko arrests him. Ban begs to stay out for an anniversary, but Keiko sends him back. Mutsumi blushes after hearing Taiyo's words about love. They hold hands as Ban and Keiko hold hands in the car. Later, Shion repairs the drive, showing Taiyo's parents' wedding guest list. Mutsumi suspects the Yozakura caused their deaths, and asks Taiyo to divorce her, but he refuses. Shion suggests visiting the Library of the Dead. At the library, Shion warns a silver-rank spy, Mei, guards it. Taiyo sneaks in, finds his father's file, and inserts the optic drive. The file reveals the Tanpopo organization killed his family. The file explodes, and Mei appears to kill him. Taiyo shoots a circuit with his taser to cut power, but Mei chases him. Mutsumi tells him to trust her. She screams into a mic, knocking Mei out. Back home, Kyoichiro says Tanpopo also killed Mutsumi's mother. Taiyo's search points to Dr. Makoto. Kyoichiro suggests breaking into Makoto's clinic. Next day, Taiyo and Mutsumi disguise as an old couple and visit Makoto. That night, he sneaks into Makoto's office and finds an encrypted summoning project file. It says, Yozakura blood gives powers, which can be copied to others by stealing the family head's heart. Makoto returns, pins Taiyo, reveals his Tanpopo tattoo, and tries to stab him. Taiyo's armor blocks it. He shoots a taser, but Makoto absorbs it. Makoto throws a flashbang and escapes with his computer. Taiyo already copied the files. That night, Taiyo studies Tanpopo and learns about the Dandelion Hotel. The next day, Taiyo wakes on a boat with Kyoichiro, who calls it training. Bounty hunters attack, but Taiyo quickly defeats them. A torpedo strikes, revealing the Tanpopo logo. Kyoichiro explains it's Tanpopo's smuggling route and a 5-star gold rank mission. Taiyo refuses to quit. Determined to protect Mutsumi, Kyoichiro hurls him forward as another torpedo launches. Taiyo slices the missile's guidance board, disarms it, and sends it back, destroying the ship. Kyoichiro confirms the Dandelion Hotel is linked to Tanpopo and Makoto. Taiyo heads there, reaches the top floor, and finds Makoto with his guard Nomen, who removes the window frame so Makoto can escape by helicopter. Shinzo appears to help Taiyo, guns down Nomen when he gets back up, then throws Taiyo off the building with a parachute. Nomen returns with a detonator in his mouth to threaten civilians. Shinzo lets Nomen beat him while Taiyo uses fake bombs to clear the hotel. Shinzo fires a bazooka. Taiyo hacks Nomen's detonator. Nomen takes the bazooka blast and dies. Taiyo calls Shinzo to check on him. A strange old man warns Taiyo to be careful. Shinzo later finds Taiyo's uniform covered in blood, and Taiyo collapses. Shinzo takes him to Nanao's lab. Shinzo tells Kyoichiro that Taiyo was already wounded before he arrived. The damage was delayed. He knows only one person can do that. Shion warns over 1,000 assassins led by Yama, enhanced by Hazakura, are attacking the mansion. Attackers rush in. Goliath transforms, smashes many, and the siblings fight together. Yama punches Goliath and attacks the mansion. Kyoichiro saves Goliath, but his transmitters are jammed. The building is locked down. Momo, their father, appears. Yama cuts the power and Taiyo's pulse fades. Mutsumi injects her blood into him, but it's not enough. Yama attacks, but suddenly Taiyo's right eye glows and he rises. In pain, Nono explains the lethal side effects of Yozakura blood. Guided by Mutsumi, Taiyo awakens his ability. Taiyo defeats Yama by punching him to his death. Kyoichiro realizes Momo planned this to force Mutsumi to use her blood on Taiyo. Momo says he did it so Taiyo could protect Mutsumi, then leaves. Inside, Mutsumi and Taiyo hug. The siblings trap remaining attackers in a dome. Futaba sends them into orbit. Next day, exhausted, Taiyo still goes to school with Nanao, who uses injections to control his mutations. When Nanao mutates in the lab and class, Taiyo stabilizes him. Rine's snake swallows Nanao's medicine and mutates, so they chase and cure it in the boiler room without her noticing. On the roof, Nanao nearly loses control, but Taiyo helps him stabilize and return to normal. Realizing Nanao can change forms, Rine drags Taiyo into the club. The next day, Mutsumi wins a 2-day trip to an underworld hot spring resort. The family packs up. Kyoichiro tries to skip his mission, but Futaba shuts that down. At the resort, Taiyo spots thugs, but Futaba reminds him fighting is banned, and the hostess Emma enforces the rules when old enemies appear. At dinner, a fat enemy causes a scene and spills beer on Futaba. After a tense pause, she laughs, and chaos breaks out. Taiyo takes Mutsumi to their room. In the bath, Mutsumi shows a scar on her chest and reveals Tanpopo once tried to steal her heart. She explains blood use works best when someone is dying. Taiyo suggests visiting the old man. Kyoichiro suddenly arrives and attacks Taiyo. Drunk Futaba defends him. The resort turns into a pillow fight. Everyone beats Kyoichiro together. Days later, Makoto and Momo travel by train, while Taiyo infiltrates disguised as a porter. He drops his gun, and a white-haired woman, Yuki, returns it and asks for wine. Colorless gas floods the train, and Taiyo opens the windows to clear it, spotting Makoto and Momo calmly drinking. Yuki restrains him with her hair, and Makoto reveals she has 100% Hazakura compatibility, and that he leaked false information to split the family and test her. Yuki defeats Taiyo, explaining Hazakura saved her from illness, but left her with only 10 years to live. His taser fails, so he reshapes it into a blade, cuts her hair using Shinzo's technique, and realizes her attacks are sending Morse code. A quick flashback shows her past. Taiyo's parents visited her, gave her sunflower earrings, and treated her like a daughter. Later, Makoto showed her many failed test subjects and said he killed the Asano family to stop them from interfering. Yuki breaks down. In present, she shows the earrings, which contain a tracker to find Makoto's bases. Taiyo loses control. Momo warns excess Yozakura blood will kill him. Taiyo cuts his leg to regain control. uses Shinzo's move, and defeats Yuki. He thanks her for preserving his parents' memories. Ai and Mizuki attack Taiyo, but Futaba and Rin appear. Futaba stops the train and takes Taiyo away. Days later, Rin locates Tanpopo's base using Yuki's earring tracker. Tanpopo hides Hazakura on a remote island. Rin suggests raiding in a week. Later, Ban and Kiriko arrives to train Taiyo. Ban demonstrates Momo's control over bullets, shoots Taiyo repeatedly. Taiyo endures. Meanwhile, Sui and Oga reveal they were modified and Rin formed Hinagiku to defeat Tanpopo. At the same time, Ban awakens his blooming and fuses Taiyo to trigger his blooming. Taiyo blocks a bullet with bare hands, realizes his blooming awakened. The night before the mission, Kyoichiro takes Taiyo to his mother's grave, only to find the body missing, likely taken for Hazakura. He asks Taiyo to help secretly bring her body back and bury her. The Yozakura family lands on Tanpopo Island. Chacha reports their arrival. Makoto realizes Yuki led them. Eikai, the strongest ninja, attacks. Eikai burns everything with blooming. Futaba counters with her own blooming, nullifies heat, and defeats Akai, telling her not to give up on life. Shinso, guided by his mother's words, uses blooming to stop Kurosawa's regeneration and defeats him. Shion realizes Makoto will sacrifice everything for his plan. Shion finds 2,000 tons of Hazakura in a silo set to explode in 30 minutes and poison the oceans. Chacha hacks her and orders Onuma to cut power. Kengo restores power while fleeing Onuma with clones. Shion accepts his help. They trick Chacha with fake clones, restore full power, and both activate blooming. Kengo reveals his blooming lets him fully copy others, reads Onuma's memories, reaches his humanity, and Onuma gives up. Shion takes control of the base and knocks out Chacha. Taiyo and Kyoichiro break into the silo and face Makoto, who reveals the detonator is linked to his body, and shows Nanao captured. Earlier, Nanao tried to free test subjects, but Mizuki and Ai stopped him. In the present, Mizuki suffocates Nanao, but Oga, Sui, and Hinagiku arrive and turn the fight. Nanao activates blooming and defeats Mizuki. Ai collapses. Sui says Ai will die from Hazakura. Mizuki injects his own Hazakura into her, asks Nanao to take her back to the light, and dies in Ai's arms. Shion breaks the detonation link. Taiyo and Kyoichiro face Makoto, who reveals he is over 100 years old, has blooming, can recreate test subjects, and plans to trigger the silo himself. Kyoichiro launches Taiyo past a wall of flesh. Makoto stabs Taiyo and Makoto shows him Tsubomi's memory. She allowed experiments on her blood, saw Yozakura power as a curse, and was ready to sacrifice her descendants. In present, Makoto reveals he poisoned Taiyo with his blood, and Taiyo collapses. Makoto recalls saving Tsubomi from soldiers and sharing her power with him. Taiyo's ring glows as Mutsumi activates his blooming. Shion disables the bombs. Taiyo destroys the Hazakura tanks, but Makoto absorbs the spill, mutates, and prepares to self-destruct. The family attacks to distract him, hiding Taiyo. Taiyo slips beneath Makoto and finds a hidden lab where Rei's body is bound by power-giving threads. Despite the risk, Taiyo pulls them. A massive explosion follows, but Taiyo survives thanks to blooming and knocks Makoto out. Mutsumi declares the mission a success through tears. Taiyo finds their mother's body in the lab. Outside, Ban confronts Momo, who carries Rei's heart. Momo blocks Ban's bullet, leaves a mark, and disappears. Makoto is arrested. Surviving test subjects are placed under spy surveillance. The season ends with Taiyo wakes to Mutsumi in a wedding dress. They hold a real wedding. Their friends gather, and a video of their mother is played as she wished. If you want more recaps like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what anime you want to see next.